What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of For the People podcast. And of course, I am, as always, your humble host, Niko House. Make sure that if you are here right now, that you can hear me okay, that you can see me okay. If you cannot, let me know so we can go ahead and get that squared away right away. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you guys. Today, we are going to be focusing a lot on this character, because I don't know what else to describe her as at this point, given all the information that we have, given recent events. The character that is Erika Kirk. There is a lot of stuff that we also going to have to cover, but I'm going to have to leave that for tomorrow. There is some more revelations, or lack thereof, regarding the Tyler Robinson situation. In the quote unquote assassination of Charlie Kirk. I don't think that I've ever seen this many inconsistencies in an assassination, like since one of the other K's. You can pick one, JFK, RFK. I mean, it's looking suspect. And I do have to give a lot of credit to the investigative work that Candace Owens has done regarding that situation, because obviously it's a little bit more personal to her because that was her friend. And although I don't like Charlie Kirk, I got to be honest, there is value in making sure that we know exactly what happened, because if there is some type of conspiracy to hide the truth about Charlie Kirk, then that conspiracy, and if that were to happen again, would not be limited to Charlie Kirk. And I feel like there aren't a lot of people who are really realizing or recognizing that. But as a Black man who understands Black history and understands the history of assassinations of our people from our side of the political aisle, yeah, I want to know the truth. And if right now we have an opportunity to take advantage of the moment and actually explore the truth and find out the truth and expose people, then I think that we should use that opportunity. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether or not you're a conservative or you're a leftist, the truth should be the only thing that's important, and everything else is a distraction. And that's just how I feel about it. Right now, if you are watching live, we're live right now on Twitter, we're live on YouTube, and we are live on Rumble today, if it is working. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what city you're watching from as well. I got Volvo Love in the chat. What's going on? Happy Wednesday, CBC voter. DJ Long Wong. See what you did right there. The Zealous Den. What's going on? God bless you. God bless you. Red Axes. We live, baby. Yes, we are live. Just found this channel. Dope. Welcome to the channel, Malumba. Welcome to the channel. V Marie, new to the channel. Welcome. Erika Traffic's children. I'm not saying that she was in traffic with the children. I'm just saying that she ain't looking exactly innocent. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna put it like that, and we're gonna get into it too. And I got another hotspot video dropping. Y'all actually gonna get a preview of the hotspot video that I'll be dropping later on this afternoon. So yeah, it gets deeper. I know I keep saying that. I said that on the last video. I said it on the first video, and I'm gonna be saying it on the third video. It keeps getting deeper, and it keeps getting more suspicious. And Erika and her family have some questions to answer. They have some questions to answer, yo. Like, especially Erika. Cat, fantastic, sir, Niko. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the super chat. Toonsy. Oh, man, we got Canada in the building. Canada is in the building. What's going on, man? You know how to say Canada in Portuguese? Canada. Eric Husso, what's going on? Kimmy from New Jersey. San Diego in the building. Algeria, North Africa in the building. What's going on? Did you know that Turning Point USA rented the State Farm Stadium in May 2025 for September 21st, 2025? I did hear that. I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter. Somebody said they were cross-referencing the dates of the funeral or the dates of the memorial and the events for Turning Point, and they had already rented in advance, which is weird. You covered on the Kirks has been, your coverage on the Kirks have been eye-opening. Oh, I appreciate that. Like I said, man, I'm just trying to get down to the truth. Like, that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. And I'm going to explain why it's so important. Because people probably are wondering, like, damn, like, why is this dude so, why is he obsessing over the behavior and the past of Erika Kirk? And if you don't know, I'm one of the founders of the DNC fraud lawsuit. I'm one of the 3 co-founders of the DNC fraud lawsuit. And the reason that we were able to start the DNC fraud lawsuit in the way I caught them cheating, the Democratic Party cheating in 2016, was because there were so many inconsistencies in one person's story that they, 1, were unwilling to address, and then 2, would constantly lie about. And based off of that, it ended up being a web of lies that connected to a network of people, and it went all the way up to the top. And then, of course, as we all found out later on, everything that I had said and had predicted it, had and investigated was true. And that broke the system to a large degree and broke people out of this 2-party duopoly mindset. And so, like, my spidey senses were tingling since last week. And we're going to get into that in a second. But, like, Erika from the jump looked fake as hell. And that's already like, okay, fake white girl from Arizona. You know, I'm not really tripping off that. But, like, as a person who's married, right? As a person who has kids, as a person who is in politics, I'm not nowhere near the level of popularity of that Charlie Kirk was. But, like, I know, like, everybody mourns in their own way, but it is suspect. And I know that some people opt for secrecy and privacy in their lives, but, like, that's not really what their lives were. So the fact that she pretends that it is, and there are consistencies, it got to be addressed, especially when we're talking about, you know, the potential for human trafficking to be involved. Nick, what's going on, my hotspot brother? Y'all make sure I go to Nick's channel and subscribe, man. They getting hit hard over there on RBN's channel. So Nick created his own channel. Make sure you go subscribe to Nick. He does fire work as usual. He's going to be interviewing Kashama Sawant tonight. So make sure y'all go out there and go check out his channel. Edinburgh, Scotland. What's going on? I'm on this topic like, why? Yeah, watch Snake Eyes twice. Man, everybody keeps talking about the Snake Eyes thing, yo. It's crazy. I know. Man, look. Okay. So let me just go ahead and get into this. Well, first of all, like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not already. Appreciate all the support. If you want to help support the show and support what we do, you can go to Patreon and support us on Patreon. The link is in the description if you are there. Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk, Miss USA contestant, didn't actually win. Talent director at some point. I mean, honestly, living a life of vanity that, you know, no one wants to acknowledge while she was out here pretending to be super Christian, out here half buck ass naked. But, you know, former Miss Arizona. And there's just a lot of I don't know and what the is going on between that time and the time that her and Charlie got married. Now, the way that she was thrusted in front of us, if she was never thrusted in front of us, actually, I probably wouldn't have even been paying attention, to be completely honest with you, because the investigation into Charlie Kirk's death is just as eerie, is just as inconsistent, and just as revealing that there is an ulterior motive that is being carried out in front of us. Someone's agenda is being carried out in front of us. And there is an attempt to distract the masses through division. It's obvious, right? Okay. So if Erika wasn't thrown out, literally thrown in front of us, I wouldn't even have paid attention to her. But since the memorial, I couldn't ignore it. My spider senses were going off, y'all. I'm gonna just show y'all in case y'all haven't seen it yet. I know a lot of people talk about it. You might have seen a photo of it or whatever. I'm gonna show y'all the entrance to the memorial because I feel like it's important to remind people once again just how weird her whole thing is. I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it a thing. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at 5'8", 130 pounds, the Madonna from Arizona, Erika Kirk. Bruh. That ain't weird to y'all? Sparks? All right. That is literally that's John Cena's entrance. It's like, what? It's like she showed up to be the star of the show. And it's weird. I actually think that it's weird that they did the memorial service in Arizona. Yes, Charlie Kirk moved to Arizona later on. Actually, it seems as if he moved to Arizona specifically because of his wife. But he lived in Chicago, Illinois. That's where he was raised. His first chapter of TPUSA was started in Chicago, Illinois. His family lives in Chicago, Illinois. And yeah, they decided to do the entire funeral, or excuse me, the memorial service in Arizona at this big ass State Farm Stadium. I'm like, okay, whatever. That's not weird at all. And the way you're acting isn't weird, and these sparks aren't weird. You definitely also bulletproof glass, supposedly that big old. Because I was kind of the first time I saw the video, right? I was curious. What's this glass for? Because that's the first thing. I wasn't going. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was like, I'm not about to watch the memorial service. I'm not gonna cap. I wasn't gonna watch it. So when I first saw the clip of her specifically, I was a bit befuddled. I was confused because I thought the glass was because everybody felt like they could potentially be in danger because of what just took place. Right? Okay. So why the hell are you entering into this memorial service with sparklers and shit, and you're standing outside of the bulletproof glass, like you Princess Diana? What are you doing? Get your ass behind the glass if y'all really, because this is even Stephen Crowder was like, yeah, I'm going to return to doing my campus. My campus debates, and for security reasons we couldn't announce it. Yo, Steve, relax, bro. No one cares that much about you debating college students. Relax. So, but now all these conservatives are like, oh my God, we're worried for our lives. Just to be clear, the call's coming from inside the crib. Just want to remind everybody of that. But if there was such a massive threat, why the hell are you just outside, just chilling? The glass is there and you're over here. Okay, that's not bizarre at all. So that was the first time that I really was like, yo, there's some kind of bizarre about this whole situation. So then I thought I might have been the only one curious about her behavior. And I saw this clip too, which I didn't know that Candace had said this. And I'm curious to know if y'all knew Candace, because Candace has been putting out a lot of content lately, and so I know it's a little bit difficult to keep up with, to keep it a band. So I want to know if y'all knew Candace said this, because I had just found out recently.
Right. I do want to assert here that I'm uncomfortable with the fact that despite all of the friends that Charlie Kirk made, all the schmoozing that he did, presidents, right, department heads, I am the only person that is publicly demanding further investigation into his assassination. Why? Totally rubbing me the wrong way. Something's not right here. Even Turning Point USA, they're just like, we've accepted, like, obviously there are holes in this narrative, and they're just like, we're gonna just keep up his show. What is going on, actually? Just want to say that and get it off of my chest. I don't like it. Throwing it to some of our sponsors. I tell you all the time about Preborn because I've watched way too many people. Yes. That's what I do here.
She took over Turning Point.
I'm gonna replay that because one thing, I mean, I may not always agree with Candace, but I do believe that she was Charlie's friend. I mean, to be completely honest, people are like, oh man, she's obsessing over the situation with Charlie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If my best friend was murdered under suspicious circumstances, if like one of my close friends was murdered under suspicious circumstances, I would be obsessively trying to discover what exactly happened as well. Like, I feel like that's actually a perfectly normal reaction. And everyone else's reaction to Candace reacting this way about her friend being murdered and the inconsistencies involved in the investigation of his murder, I feel like that's weird, personally, but all right.
Right, department heads, I am the only person that is publicly demanding further investigation into his assassination. Why? It's totally rubbing me the wrong way. Something's not right here. Even Turning Point USA, they're just like, we've accepted, like, obviously there are holes in this narrative, and they're just like, we're gonna just keep up his show. What is going on, actually? Just want to say that and get off my chest. I don't like it.
So, although in that particular video, she didn't name Erika personally, you can't lie. I mean, she didn't say everybody except. She didn't say that. Because if it was everybody except Erika, why would she specifically mention Turning Point USA? Because who's the new CEO of Turning Point USA? Right? who's the CEO? Turning Point, it's Erika. Okay. So then for maybe the first time like ever, and this is even weirder because Nick Fuentes has actually kind of like been on this weird, like, it couldn't have been Israel type of shit lately. Like, nah, bro, like it still could be Israel. But Nick Fuentes and I are in agreement that Erika's behavior is bizarre. It is bizarre as shit for a widow.
Didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone was thinking it when she gave the first speech. Everyone was definitely thinking it at the memorial. Nobody wants to say it because it's inappropriate. It's insensitive. I am the troll, right? So I'll be the one to say it. I think it's super inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's weird. It's bizarre. Something is off there, and I don't like it. But they're doing the Super Bowl commentators with the headsets on, doing a media table. They're selling merch, registering voters. They got pyrotechnics. Is this WrestleMania or is this a funeral? Like, what are we doing here? And then the day after the funeral, I'm getting 500 texts and emails Erika Kirk here. I miss him. Every time I blink, every beat of my heart. Make sure to donate $5, $15, $25. It's like, okay. And they're doing a show. Did you see the show today?
Okay. I mean, guys, we may not like Nick Fuentes, but is he wrong though? My audio's off. Oh, there's an echo. Might be an echo. Hold on. Let me turn off and on. As a matter of fact, let me switch it. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? There's an echo for real. That's strange. Well, there shouldn't be. How about now? Is there still echo? But yeah, nah, like we may not like Nick Fuentes, but like in this particular case, he's not wrong. It's weird. Eric Guzzo, thank you very much for the super chat. Macron must be thrilled. Candace is focused on Kirk conspiracy and off. Oh, you know, hey, no cap. You're right about that. He's like, thank God. Thank God she shifted gears for a little bit. But just really quick, just look at her comments about just the future of TPUSA. Just really quick, because I feel like it's just I don't women because I'm not a woman, so I grieve differently. Because I know if my wife passed away a little bit, like I'll be crippled. My grandfather passed away, and I didn't like get on social media or like tweet or anything like that for like weeks. And I don't think I got in front of a camera again for like months. And that was my grandfather. Because of the circumstances. The circumstances were sudden, it shouldn't have happened, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if my wife passed away, y'all wouldn't see me for a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would be crushed. I would be devastated. Thinking about the idea of her passing away is making me consider crying right now. And like, and if she had a business or something like that to take over, that probably wouldn't be a discussion that I'd be having within like the first week or two of her dying. I damn sure know that. Like, I'm not planning the future of my wife's company a week after she died. That's not a discussion I'm having. But, you know, Erika doesn't seem to have a problem with it. So
We have Sunday specials lined up to the brim because my husband was so intentional about making sure that there was enough content. Always.
He made sure we recorded everything.
Everything.
He would not do a speech unless we could get the video and the
100%. So we have speeches that no one's heard of. We have interviews that no one's heard of. We have stuff from Korea and Japan that no one's heard of.
Podcasts.
So, I mean, in the words of my husband, buckle up, because there is a lot of content to be had. And we have so many amazing things down the pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
I am so excited. And so,
by the way, those are things Charlie himself
that he wanted.
We were working on some big things.
Yeah, she's so excited. So excited. I'm not sitting on camera on my dead husband, my dead wife's show, and talking about the future of the company that I'm now the CEO of. That, once again, that shouldn't even be a discussion that you're willing to have at that moment. I understand the company has to move on eventually, right? There is a such thing as an interim CEO. And I'm sure that 100% Charlie had prepped somebody to take over duties if something were to happen to him. Like, I'm not even talking about like if he was assassinated, like if he was hospitalized, for example. Like, I'm sure that there was someone who could have sat in the interim while you were going through your grieving process. And instead of the grieving process that we were expecting, she's talking about how excited she is to move on and use her husband's brand to do so, which is like, oh yeah, we about to milk his ass. His body went warm to cold. We're gonna milk it until it's warm again. Okay. Like, I mean, even his quote unquote colleagues, his friends.
Right up until the end. And, we've talked about that a lot. Like a lot of the guiding vision that we're using right now to kind of steady the ship and figure out where we're going is the things Charlie himself
100%.
told us where we were going.
100%. And similar with Turning Point USA, Charlie had a plan moving past 2030 that he's shared with the team and has implemented. So we're not going anywhere.
We have the blueprint.
We have the blueprints. We have our marching orders, and we are just remaining humble and grateful to God, and we're remaining just stewards to what God has blessed us with. And I know Charlie's going to continue to guide us, and the Lord will continue to guide us. And I just wanted to let everyone know that this is far beyond.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Like, maybe if she hadn't done any interviews, maybe if she hadn't talked to anybody since the memorial service, like maybe if she stayed out of the spotlight, then we probably wouldn't be paying that much attention to her. And how weird it is that she's excited about the prospects of moving on with her husband's company, who was just assassinated in front of the entire world. It's bizarre. Like, I don't know what you keep talking about, God's guiding us. And you saying guy, I think it might be the other guy. Because ain't no way, bruh. I'm not even sure it makes you qualified to be CEO of this company. Okay, because Turning Point USA, ladies and gentlemen, is a political organization. It's a political nonprofit organization worth hundreds of, probably way more than that now, right? Because they got the little Israeli stooge in. It's probably worth way more than that now. But let's go with a light $100 million plus organization. What in the hell makes Erika Kirk qualified to run a political organization with zero political experience? That's not how political organizations work. There is a pecking order, ladies and gentlemen. There's a pecking order. If you've ever worked within a political organization, if you've worked in politics before, if you've engaged in activism or any type of organization, that isn't. You don't just be like, hey man, like, she the one. I know that she has zero experience with any of this, but we're going to leave hundreds of millions of dollars worth of resources and assets in the hands of this woman who is famous for being Miss Arizona and working as Trump's talent director. What? And all of a sudden now, Time Magazine has named her top 100 up and coming influential persons in the world. For what? I have not been inspired by a damn thing that she said. People talk about vice presidential material. What? So really quick, for those of you who may not have seen the hot spot from yesterday, I'm going to play that video because it is important for everyone to see that video, especially after what I'm about to tell you right after that video. Because when you start hearing things thrown around like vice president, when you start hearing things like Time Magazine, top influential, up and coming influential people in the world, when you start hearing $100 million companies are getting thrown into the hands of widows for the simple fact that she's a widow and nothing else. When you start hearing things like DOD, DHS, Iron Dome, etc., now we got to start digging. And that's what I did. And I saw there are people who have been digging here, been digging there, and there have been a lot of questions, really. There was like, I remember, guys, I don't know if y'all recall, like my first video, I was like, yo, we don't really know who her father is. And that is a fact. Like, bro, they were not, if you went to Wikipedia, they were like, yo, her father was not involved in her life. Yeah, turns out that's bullshit. Or her mom was just like single mom, just kind of like dabbling in some businesses. And yeah, that was bullshit. Oh, the reason she moved to Arizona was because of the divorce. That's bullshit. I mean, like, there are so many aspects of her life that were just made up lies that came out of her mouth. And no one is asking for clarification. And so when you put all the facts that we know together, plus the facts that we don't know, not because, because we don't want to know, but it's because like she's just avoiding talking about them. Like they're not important. Like it was time to start digging, ask some questions. And that's exactly what I did. So really quick, we're going to watch this hotspot video and y'all stick with me. I hope if you haven't seen it, you in for a doozy. And I appreciate everybody's watching. Man, it on YouTube right now, that damn video is going crazy. I did not think that many people were all that concerned about Erika Kirk, but I guess that everybody was kind of like, yeah, that video I posted last night, 146,000 views right now, guys. That video was going crazy. The first one I posted, let me see. The first one, 162,000. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that found her behavior to be suspect and her story to be suspect. So I appreciate y'all validating that I'm not freaking crazy. Because when you start to focus too much on something and you like become really, really bothered by something, especially what we do, like you begin to question like, yo, am I being obsessive? Am I the one crazy, or is it really them? Is it really her? Yeah, I did the digging. It's her. So let me go ahead and put this up for y'all. Stay with me. It's a little bit longer, but once again, it's worth it. And then when I tell y'all what I found out after this video, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh hell no. Nah. Y'all, this Erika Kirk Isra3li honeypot story just got way more sinister. After I started doing some more digging, I had to do a follow-up. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video, make sure you share this video, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you follow. So we're going to double back and talk about Erika Kirk's parents. There have been two consistent narratives put out there by her parents. One, we don't really know who her dad was, at least we didn't. And two, her mother raised her all by herself. Oh, and probably the most important one, her parents were divorced, and that's the reason why she supposedly moved to Scottsdale, Arizona from Ohio. Now, the reason that everyone thought that this was true was because of words that came out of Erika's mouth, because the media in many publications also pushed this narrative and went along with it without questioning Erika or her family. Erika's parents are named Lori and Kent Fronsfield. It is true that Erika's parents are divorced. It is also true that Erika and her mom Lori did move to Scottsdale, Arizona. But what is not true is that Lori and Erika moved to Scottsdale, Arizona because of the divorce. You see, by Erika's own words, her mom moved to Arizona not because of the divorce, but because of a business opportunity. Because of her past history with the DHS, it would be easier starting a business while working with the DHS in a place where she had connections.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have that.
Now, once again, Erika mentions her mother over and over and over again. The media says that she was raised by her mother alone, and they effectively pretend like Kent had nothing to do with Erika's life in her upbringing. And although many people keep trying to connect AZ Tech International and their business with Israel to Kent Fronsky, it turns out it was Lori that started the business. And Kent, the father who supposedly wasn't involved in the mother's life nor Erika's life, their entire life post-divorce, was associated with the company as the program research director. And that company was started in 2003. And it's based in Scottsdale, Arizona. And once again, although the majority of Erika's life, she pretended like her dad had nothing to do with her life, she admits here that her dad moved to Arizona supposedly because he had some family there, and therefore her and her mom weren't as alone and without family as people might have thought. She admits her dad was part of her life after pretending he wasn't her entire career.
But my father ended up moving out here as well because my grandparents had a home out in Sun City. And so it took a little bit to get everyone out here. It took several years, but by that time, everyone was out here. So we had a little bit more family than just us.
And yeah, to make a long story short, Kent is Jewish and did have some Israeli ties. But what's probably more important is that everybody thought that AZ Tech was Kent's baby. But in actuality, it was Lori's. Lori then created a subsidiary of AZ Tech called GTEK Industries, a security firm in which they work with the DOD, the NHS, and the intelligence community. And yes, people, your suspicions were correct. E3 Tech and AZ Tech was involved with the Iron Dome project via Raytheon. Oh, and multiple projects across the Department of Defense, the intelligence community, and the Department of Homeland Security, which is probably just as important, if not more important. Flashback. Remember in the first video how I was like, it's super weird how Erika Kirk was able to work with the U.S. military in Romania, of all places, to start the Romanian Angels Adoption Service nonprofit organization. Starting to make a little bit more sense now. But speaking of the Romanian Angels and Erika Kirk, did you guys ever wonder how she became Miss Arizona? Well, despite never competing in a beauty pageant in her life, she woke up one day, received a letter in the mail, and was invited to compete in the competition and decided it was a good way to expand her evangelism and do the Lord's work. Now, any beauty pageant contestant can tell you it's hard as shit to win a beauty pageant, even if you've been on the circuit your entire life, which most of these beauty queens have been. But Erika won on her first go. Wow, that's impressive and really coincidental. And then she did try to become Miss USA. She didn't place, but she got an opportunity that's worth more than any pageantry sash. You see, at the same time she was involved in this pageantry, and at the same time she was running a nonprofit organization in Romania, she was also a talent director for Miss USA, which at the time was owned by none other than Donald J. Trump. You cannot make this up. So while Erika was a talent director for Donald Trump, of all people, she was simultaneously somehow able to run a nonprofit organization in Romania, adopting little kids to random people. And allegedly those kids were being shipped off to like Israel, the UK, and other places. Now, that wouldn't be suspect in and of itself, but we can't necessarily accuse her of being directly involved. But there is that pesky little detail about the fact that she got help from soldiers that were working on a NATO base in Romania. And that NATO base just so happened to have a child brothel. And there's that pesky little fact that we don't actually know how involved the military was, because they decided to not document anything involving their involvement with that nonprofit organization. And if you know anything about the military or have served in the military, you know not documenting literally anything that any soldier does is a big ass no-no. But somehow she was able to get away with it. And yeah, Erika's mom all of a sudden decided she wanted nothing to do with this organization and tried to pretend like she had nothing to do with it. And I can see why, if you were recruiting soldiers from a military base that had a child brothel on it, and your nonprofit organization was right down the street. But like I said in my last video, it was a point of emphasis for Lori to brag about her co-founding this organization with Erika, which would make sense because Erika was basically a kid, a young adult, when this nonprofit in another country was founded. Oh, well, there's that in the fact that in the promotional video for the nonprofit, Lori's voice is literally the narrator. So there's that.
I believe that we all have angels in our lives, and these are my little angels from Antonio Placement Center in Constanța, Romania. Our goal with the Romanian Angels project was to show these children the true American heart during the holiday season. And what better way to do that than having our United States military personally deliver the gifts?
So given all the information I just told you, do you think it makes more sense that Erika just so happened to meet Charlie Kirk in Israel because her and her mom were on a pilgrimage? Or was her mom there on a work trip and they just so happened to meet Charlie Kirk? And given that Erika Kirk worked directly for Donald Trump, and Charlie Kirk's father was actually one of the main architects that designed Trump Tower, do y'all really believe that job interview turned date turned marriage was a coincidence? Well, in Erika Kirk's own words, nothing is a coincidence.
But nothing is by coincidence.
Now, given all this information, that probably explains why Erika Kirk has been acting weird as shit for a supposed widow. Didn't say a word when J.D. Vance pulled up on Air Force 2 and removed Charlie Kirk's body before an autopsy could be done, despite that being totally contrary to how Utah handles homicides.
He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Has said absolutely nothing about the new footage and the new footage and more new footage and information proving that Tyler Robinson probably not only isn't guilty, but there was probably either more than one shooter and other devices involved in the murder of her husband. And that would probably explain why the memorial service for Charlie Kirk was held in Arizona instead of Illinois, where Charlie Kirk is from, where his parents live, and where he started his very first chapter of TPUSA. And the little known tidbit that his parents nor the rest of his family showed up to that memorial. But I guess if your parents suspect that your wife could be complicit in your death, or at least are suspect of your intentions, it would be hard to plan a funeral with them in Charlie Kirk's actual place of birth, because it could get a little bit awkward. Hell, for shits and giggles, I challenge y'all, drop all those photos with Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk's parents and show how much they got along so well. So like I said, this whole situation is sinister as shit. And it really doesn't matter at this point whether I like Charlie or not. Somebody is lying. The motive behind this man's death isn't exactly what we have been told it was. And we need to figure out the truth, because this shit is weird. And it's getting weirder by the day. So yeah, definitely had to show that for people who may not have seen the video, because I need for y'all to understand everything in there to get the context of what I'm about to talk to you all about. Now, what I found interesting is, so me and Erika are the same age, actually. She was born in 88. I was born in 88. I think she might be a few months older than I am. Supposedly she moved to Arizona once again because they got her mom and her father were divorced. And like I said, she says over and over again that her father had nothing to do with her life. And then like you find out her mom started a business and her dad was directly involved. And then she admits that her dad moved out there. So my question is, first of all, Erika, why did you say that your dad wasn't involved in your life? Like, why did you say that? Why have you always maintained this narrative that your mom was some single mother just out here living the struggle every day, trying to make sure that her and her daughter made it on their own? Because that's not what it was, nor is it what it is. Why did you create that narrative? Why did the mother go along with that narrative? And I guess more importantly, why did the father go along with that narrative? Is that not weird to y'all? Like, for me, it is. Now, what was crazy about that was like learning about her parents her mom really starting a business in 2003, and then her dad being in charge of research and development is like, oh, okay. So not only was he like involved, this man worked at the exact same company as her mom, and everybody thought it was the dad that was doing all the finagling, the moving of the company names, creating subsidiaries, and it wasn't the mom. It was Lori. It wasn't the dad, Ken. It was Lori. It was the mom the entire time. That was like a bombshell because that's not really what we had been hearing, and everybody assumed the fact that Kent dropped off the face of the planet, basically, at least according to all the mainstream media and authoritative sources at the time. Everybody assumed that because he dropped off the face of the planet, that it was him who was basically the ringleader, the master, the puppet master, if you will. And no, it's been the mom. And it's crazy, isn't it? But it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It makes a lot of sense. Because when you think about the fact, because how do you, Romania, you start a nonprofit in Romania, and you just so happen to be able to be connected to NATO bases, soldiers, you get them to coordinate and facilitate all of the goings on out there. Like, what? Do y'all understand how difficult it is to start a nonprofit in the U.S., like in the U.S., guys, like in the U.S. alone? You know how difficult it is to start up a nonprofit? Like, I'm not talking about like do the paperwork, even though that in and of itself is difficult. I'm talking about start a nonprofit, raise money for the nonprofit, hire people for the nonprofit, make sure that you are doing everything within the laws and within regulation, not get caught up, you know what I'm saying? Like, breaking laws accidentally. Like that in and of itself is difficult. Then growing that nonprofit enough that people are willing to sponsor you, people are willing to work with you, people are willing to vouch with you. Okay, it is difficult enough to do that in the US. How the hell did you manage to do that in Romania? And coordinate with the US military to do so? It's not, it's, bro, like, you're not doing that by yourself. Your mom helped you. I mean, her mom did help co-found the company, even though once again, she tried to pretend like she had nothing to do with it. So the connection between Erika Kirk, Lori, her mother, and the Romanian Angels and the military and the trafficking was somewhat loose. It was a little loose. And because every single mainstream media outlet immediately, nope, debunked. Nope, not true. Not correct. Conspiracy theory. Now, first of all, if this is your first time here, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little research tidbit. The moment that every single mainstream media outlet goes around saying that something is completely and totally debunked, every single one of them, yeah, it's not debunked. It just means we got to figure out, you got to go a little bit deeper and figure out, usually there's a name involved. If you find the right name, find the right military base, find the right unit, right? Find the right name of the right lawyer, judge, et cetera, you'll find out some information. So I got a name. And that name is Colonel Busher III. So let's talk about these, these allegations. The allegations from 2020 of a prostitution and sex trafficking network operating at the Mahel, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, U.S. military base in Romania involving underage girls and U.S. soldiers. A former translator at the base, Ana Maria Nuciu, filed a criminal complaint with Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, accusing base commander Colonel Otto Buscher III and others of involvement in or covering up the activity that she claimed a brothel existed on base to satisfy U.S. military personnel, and requested her complaint be linked to other high-profile trafficking cases in Romania, such as the Curacao case involving the disappearances of 2 teenage girls in 2019. These allegations received media coverage in Romania at the time, with some outlets publishing supporting documents like audio recordings and payment recordings reportedly found the base computers. However, Romanian sources, including Newsweek Romania investigation, dismissed the claims as baseless, describing the brothel as imaginary and based on unverified suppositions rather than concrete evidence, suggesting it fueled sensationalist narratives about U.S. soldiers. Now, how could one so completely dismiss an allegation so serious? Because why would this translator come out of nowhere and make such a wild act? I mean, that's a huge accusation about a very specific person. And if you're willing to make an accusation like that, once again, and you're willing to literally report it to like your country's terrorist investigators, then you probably are expecting a different outcome other than nope, can't, nope, no evidence, sorry, BS. How do you get to that point? And I'm explaining to you how, because how we got to that point actually explains why the nonprofit would be set up in Romania if it is guilty of the accusations that have been lodged against it. Y'all, there is a jurisdictional handover of these cases. Let me explain it to you. In 2001, a bilateral agreement between the United States and Romania on the status of U.S. forces, supplemented by NATO SOFA protocols, grants the U.S. primary criminal jurisdiction over its military personnel for offenses committed on duty or within U.S. facilities in Romania. Yeah, I'll read that again for you. In 2001, a bilateral agreement between the U.S. and Romania on the status of U.S. forces, supplemented by NATO SOFA protocols, grants U.S. primary criminal jurisdiction over its military personnel for offenses committed on duty or within U.S. facilities on Romania. As a result, Romanian prosecutors reportedly closed their case, deferring to U.S. authorities for any further investigation of prosecution involving U.S. soldiers. And Anna accused both the Romanian and U.S. authorities of covering it up. That's why you can't find the information on it. That's why every mainstream media company is coming, or mainstream media outlet is coming out and saying, what? That didn't happen. Well, we don't have any evidence of that. There's no proof. Although there's a bunch of articles that are in Romanian that talk about this. This was a big deal. This wasn't some like one-off, like random lady, random translator making. This was a huge deal in Romania. And they're trying to, there was no substance. No, they just told you it. They didn't cancel the investigation because there was no proof. They refused to pursue the investigation because they couldn't. Because Romanian authorities, or really the Romanian government, one of the most corrupt governments in the world, by the way, made a deal with the U.S. that any crimes their soldiers commit would be handled internally with the U.S. Now, how are we going to know what the hell happened internally when the U.S. didn't document anything they did with this organization? The military didn't document anything. And once again, guys, I don't know if y'all know this, but I was a paralegal in the military. You have to document literally everything you do. Like if we're going to the motor pool that day, it's on paper. Every soldier that is going to go to the motor pool, there is a list that was put out, emailed to somebody, and we all went to the motor pool. Even if we didn't do anything, we're just going there to clean up. If I have an appointment that day at Womack, I have a paper. And nowadays it's emailed to your supervisor, to your NCO. I'm giving it to my NCO, and I'm telling him when I'm getting, bro. If I left the city, like if y'all know, if you've been in the military, you know how it is. If you leave a damn city, you gotta call your NCO and let them know. Like you don't just get to pop out. No, you gotta let people know where you at. They document everything, bro. I remember one guy got a speeding ticket, and because of the nature of the ticket and the fact that he didn't report it, I had to do an Article 15 for him. And I'm like, what? For why? Well, he didn't report it. And they took it as him hiding. Because it wasn't just a speeding ticket, like there was a misdemeanor attached to it because of the speed he was going. And he got an Article 15 because of it. Even though he took care of it, he got a lawyer, it was all square, but he got an Article 15 because he didn't report it. And they got back to a supervisor. They document literally everything. But y'all didn't document anything having to do with this nonprofit organization being ran by like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old girl. That's super weird, my guy. So what's wild is, so the allegation by Anna was made in 2020, but she specifically says that everything that she's accusing Colonel Busher and the U.S. military base / NATO base that was there, everything she's accusing them of occurred between 2011 and 2019, more or less. And Erika's nonprofit ran from roughly 2011, 2012 to about 2017. And then she just stopped. And she didn't give us a reason. And somehow in between that period, by the way, whole different conversation, she became a millionaire, a multimillionaire actually. And that's a whole different conversation. But that's what happened. And perhaps all of that wouldn't be as suspicious if in her video promoting her nonprofit, she didn't thank Colonel Bushell III personally for helping her facilitate and coordinate her nonprofit organization's activities in Romania. Yeah. Personally. She named him specifically. And they got texts and records of him requesting the girls. Now, maybe I wouldn't be so judgmental. Maybe I wouldn't be jumping to conclusions if I could find a video or something like that of Erika denouncing Bushell's behavior, Bushell's accusations and the allegations against him, the allegations against the base and the soldiers that she worked with. But instead of that, you haven't said a motherfucking thing. You haven't said anything. She has not said a word about Bushell. She hasn't said a word about the soldiers on that base. She hasn't said a word about the translators, excuse me. Anna Maria Nucia, she hasn't said a word. She hasn't said a word about the accusations. She hasn't said why she stopped. Because, okay, so when you start a nonprofit organization, usually don't just stop it out of nowhere for no reason. If you're out here doing, especially if you're out here doing the Lord's work, like she claimed she was doing. Look, it's getting creepy, y'all. And then when you find, by the way, the situation with Charlie Kirk's dad is weird because I don't know if y'all know this. There are some sources claiming Charlie Kirk's father is still alive and other sources claiming that Charlie Kirk's dad isn't alive. So there's that, which is weird. And because there's no photos of Charlie Kirk, his wife, whatever, or that fake person that is on his marriage certificate, and his kids. There's no photos of them and his mom and dad. And there's no photos of Charlie post-marriage with his dad. And it's weird. There's actually no photos of Erika being pregnant, which is even weirder. I'm not I don't know, maybe they got a surrogate. I don't know. But for a woman who likes to preach about family and Christianity and family values and embracing motherhood, and why, you don't have a single photo of you being pregnant, bro? That's kind of weird. My wife is extremely private, and you could still find photos of her if you wanted to, of her pregnant with our kids. What the hell? And you are ex-Miss Arizona, former talent director for Donald Trump, married to Charlie Kirk, of all people. Mr. Family Values. Yeah, not really, but you know what I'm saying? It's weird. Now, I need people to understand something. There is a possibility that for example, she's the new CEO of TPUSA. We know that TPUSA mishandled the evidence at the where the assassination occurred. We know, they was out there tampering with shit. Candace covered it. Redacted covered it. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow in more detail. But we know that happened. We know that TPUSA for some reason seems to be completely and totally uninterested in the inconsistencies of this investigation or the irregularities. How the hell are you going to break Utah protocol, have JD Vance fly in on Air Force Two and basically just say fucking autopsy and sign off on it? What? I would want to know how my husband died. But then there's this letter that Charlie Kirk put out, and it was somebody from within TPUSA who sent it to Candace Owens. And you know what the letter said? That Charlie Kirk was putting together a team. The team was specifically to investigate what the hell was going on with the money in TPUSA. And I'm not just talking about the money that was being spent. He said, yeah, there was a lot of money being spent and they couldn't account for it. But what was striking was that he said, we're trying to account for the money that's coming in because they don't know where it's coming from in some cases. That's a big deal. Because we know what? Netanyahu tried to bribe him. We know what? Bill Ackman and them threatened him and tried to bribe him. And we know that there are, any political organization, really, we all know they're double agents, y'all. That's a thing. That's how I discovered, whenever I discovered the cheating that was going on within Bernie Sanders' campaign, I discovered it because I would see them receive checks from the Bernie campaign and receive another check separately, not directly from Hillary Clinton's campaign, but from a Hillary Clinton super PAC. That's how I caught him. Well, that was the confirmation, really. So when you can't track where your money is coming from, and you also don't know who that money is going to, you don't know if that person is working for you, your organization, or working for somebody else. Is she going to continue that initiative? Because she hasn't said a word about it. Is Erika Kirk going to continue? Because it's Charlie. What is it? Charlie already got the blueprint for us. We're so excited. He already wrote the blueprint for us. Okay. So are you going to continue the initiative that Charlie started? And I need y'all to understand, like, I'm not a fan of Charlie. But Erika's behavior combined with, once again, just the overall weird circumstances surrounding his death, and then the weird reaction, not from like Candace, her friend, his friend, not from Tucker, his other friend. Everyone, y'all are being fucking weird. The conservative world is reacting weird to his death. Candace is acting normal. This is how a friend would react if she suspected her friend died under suspicious circumstances, and the people who supposedly care don't seem to give a damn. Tucker is also reacting like a normal person whose friend died. It is the rest of the conservative world with your little weird ass freedom shirts, literally selling merchandise, making money off a dead man's name. Y'all are the weird ones. So, like, are you going to continue that initiative, Erika? Or are you going to pursue the suspicions that your husband so clearly had before he passed away? Because I'm curious to know. And some people might want to understand why, Niko, if you're a leftist, why do you care so much? If you didn't like Charlie, why do you care so much? If you don't like TPUSA, why do you care so much? Because people, I understand history, and I understand the value of the truth. And some people don't seem to get it. Because when Charlie Kirk gets killed and they immediately blame Tyler Robinson, which, by the way, that's looking more and more suspect every day. Like, clearly this kid is not guilty, right? Okay, yeah. By the way, y'all should try to take a stop by that Burger King, that Dairy Queen that he supposedly went to because it's supposedly not there anymore. So, yeah, like, probably not guilty. But they immediately were like, yep, we're going to blame the left. Okay. So we're going to go to war with the left over an alleged killer? An alleged killer. We don't even know if he's guilty. We're going to go to war with the left over okay, that's kind of bizarre. So what about the inconsistent evidence? What about the inconsistent narrative? What about like Discord denying the things that the FBI is claiming? Things like that. Fuck all that. We hate the left. We're going to war. We got to be violent too. Okay. Well, let me look at where his friend is saying. His friend like, oh no, we don't trust this investigation. Oh yeah, that thing with BB, that letter. Yeah, that's not the whole letter. If it is even a letter, if it was even really written by Charlie, which is a whole different conversation. We're gonna get into that tomorrow too. What's Tucker got to say? Tucker like, hell nah, bro. Charlie done told me he don't really rock with BB like that. Oh, okay. Also, BB, why the hell do you keep talking so much? Why are you getting so involved in this situation? Why are you so determined to prove Israel wasn't involved? By the way, just out of curiosity, you fucking weirdo. Like, Netanyahu's reaction to this entire situation is weird. The fact that he even came out like, let me read to you guys this letter from Charlie Kirk that he sent to me. Okay. That's bizarre. You're the prime minister. I mean, you know, even though your country is fake, you're still the prime minister. And like, you're out here like reading letters from that Charlie allegedly sent to you on social media because you're determined to prove that Israel wasn't involved. Yeah, it kind of makes you look guilty. It kind of makes you look guilty. So Can's reaction is normal. Tucker's reaction is normal. The president's reaction is not normal. Netanyahu's reaction is not normal. These conservative influencers' reaction is not normal. TPUSA's reaction isn't normal. Erika Kirk's reaction isn't normal. And so now I have to question the motive. It's important to know why he was killed, how he was killed, and if it's being covered up and who it's being covered up by, because we need to know who's trying to divide us. We need to know who's trying to distract us. Because the left and the right were getting this close to seeing it all for what it really was, whether it be regarding the genocide Israel's committing in Gaza, whether it be the war that the United States is financing in Ukraine and Russia, whether it be the war that Trump is trying to start in Venezuela for no reason, whether it be the literal terrorists the U.S. and Israel and their allies helped put in charge of Syria. The left and the right were getting this close. Because the majority of us were like, boy, you better not start this war with Iran just because Israel wants it. Hell no. You better not continue to fund Ukraine when you know the majority of that money is going up Zelensky's nose. Come on, let's keep it a band. They literally just like half the money that that Ukraine supposedly got from Biden just disappeared. Coke prices went up. What can I say? But the left and the right were figuring it out. They weren't getting it right in all the same ways, but they were figuring it out. It was a slower process. He said, you know what I'm saying? It's a slow, because we're breaking literally generational conditioning. And that genocide was like a shock to everyone's system, along with the pandemic. And the fact that you can't turn on the goddamn TV anymore without seeing Netanyahu speaking our White House. Like, why are you constantly giving speeches from our White House to tell the world what they need to be doing to help you fulfill your genocide? The left and the right were figuring it out. They were. I was watching it. I was witnessing it. I was here. I'm here. Every day I'm like, I have a bunch of conservative followers that agree with me on a lot of what we talk about when it comes to Western imperialism and the dangers that it can, like, it ain't just a problem because it's a problem for them. It's a problem for the U.S. It's costing us. It is a problem for the world at this point because it is unsustainable. And it's like everyone assumes that like if you potentially implicate Israel in the possibility of Charlie Kirk being dead, like if you implicate if they're involved, if you even suggest that they're involved, it must mean because you believe that Charlie Kirk was going to do a full 180 on Israel. That isn't necessarily the case. I mean, I believe that he was still supportive of Israel, even with his mild criticisms. That's fine. Like that can be true. But that's because a lot of people are working backwards from their conclusion. You're like, if I admit that Israel could be involved in Charlie Kirk's death, that means I believe that he was going to make this 180 altruistic turn on Israel. And people get assassinated for all kinds of reasons. People get taken out for all kinds of reasons. And Israel has no problem taking out an ally. I thought we already established that. If you don't think so, go ask some of them hostages that are no longer with us. Go ask some of them soldiers that were and civilians that were obliterated by Apache helicopters on October 7th. They ain't got no problem taking out their own. But what happened was you saw Candace. All of a sudden, she was willing to tell the truth about Israel and the genocide. Not all of a sudden. She's honestly, to be fair to her, even though I had my problems with a lot of her takes, like she was right on the genocide thing from the jump. So I'll give her that. Tucker, after his interview with Glenn Greenwald and a couple other people, he was like, hey, man, look. But not only did they start to see, because for me, I don't even know if Charlie Kirk genuinely felt how he felt about, that people saying he was beginning to feel about Israel, but I do know what bottom lines look like and how you got to maintain them. And what we saw was Candace Owens leave the Daily Wire and become more popular than Ben Shapiro. So now we're looking at bottom lines and, oh shit, turns out a conservative telling the truth about Israel can actually make you more popular. Oh shit, all of a sudden, Candace and Tucker are doing interviews with leftists and they're having genuine conversations about how problematic Israel and Western imperialism is. Oh, we got to split these motherfuckers up right now and make Candace and Tucker look like insane, anti-Semitic idiots and conspiracy theorists, and make Max Blumenthal and that side make them look crazy for even wanting to talk to them, and make everyone hate everybody again because they're figuring it out. Trump still ain't released the Epstein files. They're figuring it out. They are here bombing fucking boats, claiming that there's cocaine on them. That's illegal, by the way. Can't just be bombing boats for no reason. I don't give a damn if they had drugs on them. You're supposed to arrest them, get the drugs, prove that they actually were drugged. Like, there's a process involved in that. But yeah, no, just bomb boats. Probably fishing boats at that. Bombing Iran, potentially starting World War III on behalf of Israel. And then turning around and giving billions of dollars so Israel can rebuild their paper dome that got fucking obliterated, by the way. But yeah, almost started World War III. The peace president. They were figuring it out. That's why I care. The left and the right were figuring it out. And this looks like an attempt to divide everybody, because now people are debating whether or not Charlie was a good guy, whether or not he was raised better. Like, yeah, it's a conversation, but that ain't the main conversation that we need to be having right now as Trump is out here puckering up his lips. Whatever. Her Netanyahu's coming. Where my knee pads at? I had to go ahead and put my knee pads on. My knees aren't what they used to be. Get my chapstick ready. I heard baby's on the way. I got to get this right. UN hosting conversations with Jolani, a fucking terrorist. People noticed. Trump provoking Putin even further, giving more money to Ukraine to blow through. People noticed. People kept noticing. People were noticing, and it was getting profitable to notice. And now that's the problem. The grift all of a sudden became telling the truth. The grift all of a sudden became telling the truth. And that's a problem. When every war that you fought, every conflict that you justified, every genocide that you've participated in has been based on people being willing to lie to you, or excuse me, lie for you for money. But when they find out, hold on, I could just tell the truth and make a lot of money. For real? I mean, even if I don't mean it, because there's a lot of people out there that they'll tell the truth sometimes, like a little bit. Right? They tell a little bit of truth. Even they're going to grift eventually, but they're going to tell a little bit of truth. Enough to make them look credible, and then they make money from it. Yeah, that's the thing now. Oh, shit. And the left and the right are willing to talk to each other now? Nope. Yeah. Kill him. Yeah, do that. Take him out. And then compare him to MLK. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. Take him out, call him MLK, deify him, make his wife CEO, and we're gonna have them fighting again and not paying attention to what we doing over here. Oh, demolish, by the way, the site of the investigation so that we can't gather any forensics evidence, which is like not a thing. Like you're not supposed to touch any of that shit. But hey, we're gonna demolish it anyway. Have Erika not be concerned at all about the weird investigation into her husband or lack thereof. I don't know if you can call it an investigation at this point. Have Erika not mention the Epstein files that Charlie actually was concerned about the government releasing. He didn't have a bunch of people grift off her dead husband's name. And create a fake war that doesn't exist between left and right. And meanwhile, Palantir is over here like, y'all see all that data that we about to be getting? Oof. You see all that? Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Facial recognition. That is on the way. It's on the way. Social credits. It's on the way. We pulling up to jobs. We pulling up to your crib. We pulling up to your car. But we about to get, that government is about to give us a skeleton key to y'all lives after this. But y'all keep bickering. Keep bickering. Yep, the left is trying to destroy us. The right is trying to keep bickering. Yep. Mm-hmm. Keep bickering. And don't pay attention to the obvious, which is a grieving widow just took over as CEO of her ex-husband's company, and we don't know how the hell she was qualified for that position, and she doesn't seem to be concerned about the fact that she just lost her husband. Jane Goodall died? What? Did that just happen? But y'all see what I'm saying, y'all? That's why I care. Because I know there's a lot of people that there are some people that are curious. Like, why would you care about this? Like, because I need y'all to stop playing their game. Like, when it's time to tell the truth about conservatives, like the people in power, we're going to tell the truth. When it's time to tell the truth about liberals, we're going to tell the truth. But stop playing their game where the only truth or the only time you're going to talk about or insult or attack the other side is when they tell you it's time to. Because when they tell you it's time to, it's usually some bullshit. That's just reality. Stop playing their game. That is the moral of the story. The reason I'm focused on Erika is because if we crack the code of Erika Kirk, we probably would crack the code of everything happening right now. This huge distraction that has pitted everybody against each other right when everybody was coming together. Here's what it is. Okay, I know y'all tired too. I'm tired. I'm like, yo, bro, can we just talk? We just tell it what it is. Just tell the truth. Let's just get to the truth. And remember who the enemy actually is. And stop letting us get distracted by dumb shit. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream episode of For the People Podcast. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. If you're over there on Twitter right now, head over to YouTube. You can click on the link. I tweeted it out not that long ago. So click on the link. Come over to YouTube. Subscribe. Appreciate all my new people that subscribe. Welcome to the channel. I hope that I don't disappoint. I hope that you enjoy the content. Thanks to everybody that's been showing love. Thanks to everybody that's been sharing the video, or the videos rather. Once again, the new next hotspot video will be dropping here shortly. Check that out. Come back and comment on this video after we get it done. You know, help boost us in the algorithm. And if you want to support the show, you can become a premium subscriber here on YouTube, or you can support on Patreon. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, like this video, share this video, but always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.